Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And congratulations on your first week. Hopefully, it wasn't too bad for you. But CT, I know a lot of you are second year students, and I know CT can be very exciting. It can be very daunting because there's so much information to cover. But as I've said in some of the introductions, we're going to take this slow, but you kind of know have a big grasp of how this is going to work. This class is very straightforward. It's nothing fancy. There's going to be homework. There's going to be quizzes. Something that you need to know is I'm huge on uh, vocabulary because I feel that radiology, not only do we learn a lot of anatomy, but we also learn a different language. So keep that list of vocabulary terms close because a lot of your tests questions, a lot of the concepts will come directly from the vocabulary. So make sure you keep those close. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just give a basic overview of what you guys have already learned. Chapter 1 and 2. Chapter 1 is basically an overview of CT. Gives you some history that's very, very interesting. Um, you just have to remember that Dr. Hounsfield was the um, father of CT. And we'll get into that because you've probably heard technologists talk about Hounsfield units. It's a specific number of a grayscale in a CT scan that can determine if you're looking at air, water, or something solid such as bone, calcium, or something along those lines. So just, kind of keep those into thought as you move through. We have a lot of, the conception of the multi-slice scanner, which is what we use in today's society. It's what a lot of the articles you'll read about dose, different things like this. Those are multi-slice scanners. For example, I do know, and I'm kind of biased by this. I worked for Gibson Air Hospital for 12 years. I was the director there for a short time. I believe it was about 2.5 years. We purchased a 160 slice scanner. It's a very fast scanner, but we can take 160 images as that uh, tube goes around the patient. We usually never do that as a CT technologist because it would really affect your image quality. So we'll get into that more. We get into the course itself. Digital imaging process, which is chapter 2. Basically, that chapter kind of wraps up into the fact that we use computers to create these images. Excuse me, there's numerous computers within a computer to create these images. There's different terminology, and scanning is the process of creating the image. But it gives you a nice overview of how CT works. It's a broad overview. It's not specific, but we will break it down the more we get into the textbook. Okay. Uh, Basically, though, what I wanted to really talk to you about is chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 gives you the physical properties of the CT. How's the room set up? Where things are, different ways of things that work within CT, the physical appearance, the physical attributes of CT. Chapter 4 is when we start getting the nuts and bolts of CT. Data acquisition concepts. This is where we start creating an image. Okay. I won't get very deep than that. I want you to read the textbook. And I want you to read chapter 4, but chapter 4 is very important because it's where we start creating an image. It's where the CT scanner gets enough data from the radiation in the detectors to create that cross-sectional anatomy image that you see on your screen. And we also get into the different types of scanners. There's first generation scanners, which are no longer used. Up to, I believe there's 8th generation scanners now. Don't quote me on that for sure. I'll have to do some research and get back to you and let you know about that. But a lot of your generation scanners today are going to be 3rd and 4th, either with the rotate or the rotate stationary geometry. So make sure you understand that, so that way when you look at these scanners, you'll know what's happening as that tube rotates around the patient. There's numerous scanners out there that are still prototypes. They are not approved by the FDA. They have to be approved by the FDA for us to use them. Some of them are in big research hospitals such as Mayo and Johns Hopkins. Some of them are even in around Central Illinois with the University of Illinois. There, they've got several prototypes that they've been working on, and they'll scan patients, they'll scan animals, they'll for the vet school there at the University of Illinois. So they use it for multiple things, but it's a research scanner. It is not diagnostic. If the patient needs a diagnostic scan, they have to go to the hospital to get that done. So a lot of cool information, a lot of very useful information, especially for another example with Chapter 4 slip ring. That's why we are allowed to, that tube goes all the way around and we don't have to use an extension cord, to do that. We use a slip ring. It is very neat. So read through that. That's going to be the weeks. You now know how my tests and homework work are created and the format of that. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You can text me, you can email me. It doesn't make me a bit difference. I will check the courses now that we're moving along here, probably about 3-4 times a week. So if it's something that can't wait, text me. You have my cell number. It is on the syllabus. Make sure you look through the syllabus and you understand it. If you have questions, let me know. Sorry, I just noticed there's a big glare off my head, but that's what happens when you don't have hair, I guess. Yay me. But I like to have a lot of fun with this course, even though I'm, sitting here in Tennessee and you're in Illinois. That's no worries. We've got a lot of technology we can work with. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I really think you guys will enjoy this class because we're really going to start breaking down how the CT image is created. And then towards the end of class, we'll actually start looking at CT images. So again, I really look forward to working with every one of you. And if you have not done the introduction yet, please do so by the end of this week. And we'll get everybody introduced to each other. And I'm sure most of you probably know each other already. But I would like to see a face talking to me. That would be great if you can make a video. But please introduce yourself on the discussion board. I will see you I'll do these weekly to kind of wrap up the chapters and kind of lead into the next week. So please be aware of these and let me know if you have any questions. Have a great evening and have a great week.